Dear students, with the last class, we have completed the entire syllabus because about 2 chapters were excluded from your regular syllabus due to this COVID pandemic situation. So anyhow, let us revise the completed syllabus once again. Okay, first chapter, fundamental unit of life. What we have learned, let us just revise it in a fast manner. As many times as we can revise it. Robert Hooke was a scientist who discovered the cell for the first time from a cork slice in the year 1665 using his primitive microscope. And this cork slice that was just seen by him through his primitive microscope appeared like a honeycomb. In honeycomb, you might have seen many small compartments or rooms. So, as he has seen small compartments or little rooms like that of a honeycomb, he just gave the term cell to that compartment-like structure of the cork slice. Because in Latin language, the meaning of a cell is little room or little compartment. All living organisms are made up of cells. So, cell is known as basic building unit of all living organisms, or simply called basic unit of life. All living organisms are made up of one or more cells. Okay, using these cells as building blocks for the construction of their bodies. So, cell is known as basic building unit of all living organisms. I already have told you, all living organisms have one or more cells in their bodies. Means there are some organisms in which single cell alone itself is the complete body of the organisms. Such organisms are known as what? Unicellular organisms. We will discuss about them a little later. In unicellular organisms, single cell itself is complete organism. Example, all bacteria are prokaryotes, and unicellular eukaryotes like amoeba, paramecium, euglena, etc. All these are unicellular organisms in which the single cell itself is the complete organism. In the year 1831, Robert Brown discovered nucleus. And nucleus is the central part of the living cell. Not only in terms of position, in terms of even function also. Because nucleus controls and coordinates all activities of the cell. So only it is called central part of the cell. Something or some person or some subject which controls and coordinates the activities of a particular organization or a body or compartment. We will consider it as central thing. So, nucleus here, it is position wise located in the center as well as function wise also. It controls and coordinates all activities of the cell. So, it is the central part of the cell. And such nucleus was discovered by Robert Brown in the year 1831. In 1839, Purkinje, he coined the term protoplasm. What is this protoplasm? The fluid substance of the cell. Inside the cell, there is a lot of fluid substance. That entire fluid substance is coined as protoplasm by Purkinje. In the year 1838 and 1839, two scientists known as Schleiden and Schwann. Full names are Matthias Schleiden and Theodor Schwann. They have proposed the cell theory. Cell theory was given by Schleiden and Schwann. And this cell theory has two components in it, or two statements in it. What are they? All plants and animals are composed of cells. And cell is the basic unit of life. So these are the two statements that are given by the Sladen and Schwann individually for plants and animals respectively, as their statements are same. Cell theory, it is the cell theory of Sladen and cell theory of Schwann, both were combined for plants and animals together. And what are the statements that are given by Sladen and Schwann in their cell theory? Plants and animals, all plants and animals are composed of cells, and cell is the basic unit of life. So these two statements are given by them. In the year 1855, the cell theory was further expanded by another scientist known as Virchow. That means further expansion means he didn't beat that cell theory to expand it. Instead, he has added one more thing to the cell theory so that the cell theory got expanded. And what is the statement that was added by Virchow? All cells arise from the pre-existing cells. This was the statement that was added by Virchow to the already existing cell theory. And what is the statement that was added by Virchow? All cells arise from pre-existing cell. In Latin, it is also known as omnis cellula e cellula. You can refer the previous notes for further clarification. Right. So, cell theory was further expanded by Virchow. The statement that has been added by Virchow was all cells arise from pre-existing cells. Next, in the year 1940, Electron microscope was invented by two scientists known as Knoll and Ruska. It was a great invention. In the textbook, it has been given like discovery. It is an instrument here. Instruments cannot be discovered; they are invented. Right. In the year 1940, invention of electron microscope was carried out by Knoll and Ruska. Right. And this invention of electron microscope has made it possible to understand the complex structure of cell and its organelles. The invention of electron microscope has made it possible to understand the complex structure of cell and its organelles, since the magnifying power or magnifying ability of electron microscope is very, very large, very, very high than compared to normal compound microscope. So, ultra microscopic nano levels, nano size structures also can be easily seen or observed by using electron microscope. So, cell, even though it is very small in size, which generally we cannot see with our naked eye, it has got a complex structure inside of it. But with the invention of electron microscope and utilization of electron microscope has made it possible to understand the complex structure of cell and its organelles. What are organelles? The structural and functional organelles inside the cell are known as organelles. And these organelles are present only in eukaryotic cells. Okay, about the organelles, about prokaryotes, eukaryotes, everything we'll learn in the next upcoming classes, right? So, invention of electron microscope has made it what possible? Invention of electron microscope has made it possible to understand the complex structure of cell and its organelles. Okay, and whatever whether it is electron microscope or compound microscope or simple microscope, all these microscopes, they were invented, okay, using the initial things, that is magnifying lenses. Magnifying lens is a lens through which something can be seen in a magnified or increased size having structure. So, invention of magnifying lenses led to the discovery of microscopic world. If magnifying lenses were not were not invented, would not have invented, then what would not be possible? It would not be possible to see the microscopic world. So, invention of magnifying lenses led to the discovery of a microscopic world. So, We have discussed the introductory things in this class as part 1 revision. In later parts, we will slowly cover the remaining aspects of this chapter, right? Thank you.